thesis interviews, conversations to empower. Introducing Amar Sharif.
Hello and welcome to a interview conversation to empower. I'm Leo Coach and Splitter, and today I'm joined by Amar Sharif, the founder of Searchy Disabled Folks, which was part of her master's in social work project to create awareness about the lack of sexual health resources and services for disabled people. Amir is also the title holder of Miss Wheelchair New York in 2024. Thanks so much for joining me, Amir. So, why did you decide to focus your research project on creating awareness about sexual health resources and services for disabled people?
Yeah, so the reason why I chose to focus my thesis project in social work on creating awareness about sexual health resources and services for disabled people is because of experiences that I've both seen in the community and experienced myself. So I have encountered many situations of not really being aware of um, bodily anatomy and like sexual health needs and resources available to women with disabilities in America. And so I figured, why not create that awareness to people who may not have it? And because awareness is the first stage to making a change.
Yes, I agree. I feel like over here in the UK as well, there is definitely a lack of knowledge around what disabled people may need in regard to their sexual health. And I think because, as we both kind of know, sometimes disabled people can be seen as non-sexual, and you know that we don't have the same needs as people who are not disabled, and I think that mentality, that kind of attitude affects the resources and the education out there.
Yeah, you're definitely right. I mean, um, I do want to point out also that even if you do fit into the stereotype of being a disabled person who's non-sexual, that's okay too. But it's still important to know about these resources available to you because especially as a woman, your your body changes and things can happen. For example, like breast cancer or cervical cancer and things like that, that you don't necessarily need to be sexually active to acquire. You're actually, you make a good point that um, not all of us are non-sexual. Some of us, like, we need our needs met just like everyone else. And it's important to acknowledge that because if you don't, then where are the services that everyone else gets?
Yeah, exactly. I agree with what you said. You know, it's about personal health in general. You know, like you said, disabled people, non-disabled people are non-sexual as well as sexual. The health needs of us all, you know, female needs is what you highlighted. They're all very important when it comes to cancer, for example. We need to know, people need to know what to look out for, how to self-care. They're all very important. My next question is, what do you find empowering?
Something that I find empowering is watching other people in the disability community advocate for the same thing that I advocate for, especially since I've become Miss Wheelchair New York. I had the person that I was competing against was saying a speech about something very similar to mine, and I was amazed to see that someone else was advocating for uh, basically the same thing that I was.
And would you like to tell us what you were saying in your speech?
Yeah, so um, in my speech, I kind of highlighted the fact that um, sexual health and like the services and resources that are I guess lacking for the disabled community are affecting us. And it's not a positive effect, unfortunately, because what like I said earlier to you, whether or not we are involved in sexual activity, this stuff is important to us and it needs to stop being the elephant in the room.
Absolutely. And I would say, you know, one of the pinnacle parts of that is about the education and the training of our healthcare professionals. And not only the education, but also the attitude and the understanding.
I also talked about marriage equality because, as you know, I just got engaged. And I believe that as disabled people who are unable to work, um, we should not have to rely on our spouse for financial assistance. We should be able to have our own money to manage our own finances and to live independently in that aspect. Um, so I really hope that that's something that like can change in the future.
And also, I suppose we also need to mention how, you know, for disabled people receiving benefits. Um, I think it's like this in the US and the UK, I believe. It's in the US. What if we notice that can affect our benefits and what we're entitled to? So that kind of means that disabled people are deciding not to marry because it's for back, so they would lose the money they need to live. And that is a massive human right, I think. And uh, unbelievable that in 2024 that it's still considered acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't know, like growing up, I've always wanted to be married and learning that, like, if I, like, in my case, I am not affected because I am able to work and make a living off of what I do, but it was kind of scary to know that I was at risk of losing when I had benefits and I had to choose between that or living my life the way everyone or that I knew does.
Yeah, that should not be a choice that we need to make between the way we live our lives and our security. And it's dreadful, like I said, it's still something that we must consider. Um, my next question is, what difference would you like to see or make in the world?
So I think if this answers your question correctly, a change I would like to see in the world is uh, the ability for us to, as disabled people, to get married and um, and have the resources that non-disabled people have uh, when it comes to our sexual health needs.
Yeah, so more education, more awareness around disabled people, sexual health needs, whether they are sexually active or not.
Right. I would like to see a change in the future of like people still receiving benefits even if they are working. And I don't know if that is a current situation or if they like because I know that in my job I apparently make too much, which is ridiculous. Because I don't believe that I do. Um, so I wish that Social Security benefits did not have a cap on how much you could make. Because some of us want to work and are able to work and want to contribute to society, and that's okay. We should be allowed to without being punished for it.
Yeah, it kind of counterintuitive, I believe, because it feels like disabled people are almost penalized for wanting to work, and a lot of people still would benefit hugely from the support funding from the benefit alongside their work, because in some cases having the benefits is what allows them to work. So it's very unfair that when we do work, we're then punished, like you said, by having what we need taken away from us.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
And definitely counterintuitive. So, would you like to talk a little bit about your platform and your website?
Yeah. So my My website came first before my Miss Wheelchair New York crowning. Um, it was part of my thesis project, and like I said, it was about the lack of sexual health services and resources for people with disabilities. And I my website kind of lists some people that you should follow who are into the same topic as I am, as well as other articles that I've written to highlight this topic that I chose. My platform is based off of my website, and my 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 motto is disabled women's health is disabled women's wealth. It's important to, as Miss Wheelchair New York 2024, to highlight the importance of all of these topics that I have mentioned in this interview, and to advocate for people who are in similar situations. So I'm definitely excited for the year that I get to work on this and meet new people and collaborate with others such as yourself. And yeah, I'm definitely proud of my accomplishments.
Yeah, I've seen your online presence grow quite a lot over the last year or so. Um, so could you tell us how people can get in contact with you?
Yeah, so I have many different ways that you can get in contact with me. I have I have two Instagrams actually, which are sexy disabled folks, uh, um, at sexy disabled folks, and then at MWNY dot 2024. So Miss Wheelchair New York 2024. And I have my website, which allows you to write to me with any questions that you may have or concerns or anything that you want to talk about. And I also have an email, which is sexydisabledfolks@gmail.com. I used to have a Facebook page for my website, but I kind of cut that off. But I now have a Miss Wheelchair New York 2024 Facebook page. So you can also find me there. And yeah, there's many ways that you can get in touch with me if you need to.
Many ways. Okay, and I will share all your social media links and your website with this interview. Yeah, thank very much tonight. Get an interview and check out all the other conversations all the other interviews on YouTube or listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or Amazon Music. And Ace's interview will be that soon with another powerful conversation. Bye for now.
Thanks for watching Ace's interviews. Find out more about Amar Sharif in the show notes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow.